Hi guys, in today's session we're going to check out Android as an amazing programming language that your students can build a career on. Okay, so Android is, as we all know, a legacy programming language. It's something that's very old and it's something that's been existent for many years. It's been existent ever since the Android phone was designed and developed and widely used. So Android is the most used mobile phone operating system on the face of the planet. So if you look at all of the people on the face of the planet, the vast majority of them are using Android, and that itself will show you about the demand of mobile applications that are built on the Android platform using the Android coding language. The speciality of Android as a career option is that it is an evergreen field. There are a lot of applications on the Play Store right now that were built on Android, and these applications are maintained by Android software professionals. So in another session where I talk about Flutter, I generally do explain how Flutter is a new programming language which a lot of the companies, a lot of the IT companies and the clients are adopting, but Android is a programming language that has already been adopted. So for example, the basic idea is that if I'm building an application for my company, right, and I have a lot of users for that, let's say I have 1 million, 2 million users for an application, it's almost impossible for me to change the programming language of that application from Android to something else. So if I already have an Android application on the Google Play Store and I'm having millions of users for that or even thousands of users for that, it's next to impossible for me to then convert that entire application into a Flutter or into any other kind of programming language. It's next to impossible. The cost is too high. So which is why most of these legacy older applications are built on Android or are built on Android, and they continue to be run on Android. And it is after because of the presence of so many applications on the Play Store. Again, each of these applications are worth millions of dollars, right? A lot of the applications out of United States, out of Europe, whose maintenance happens in India, whose maintenance happens in Bangalore and Chennai and Mumbai, right? A lot of these IT outsourcing companies, they take up the work from outside. So a lot of these applications are built on Android, which is why these IT outsourcing companies, they hire Android software professionals rather than other programming languages. So this is why the job demand for Android hasn't died down yet, because of the existing applications on the Play Store, as well as for a percentage of users who prefer building on native. Now this is something that is gradually changing, but building on native programming languages, which is Android for our Android phone and Swift for iOS, is a very it's still a prevalent kind of a trend. It hasn't been completely eliminated. So a lot of the people still do, some of the companies and clients, they still do prefer building things on the native language, which is Android or Swift. Now, as long as this exists, the job opportunities for Android will constantly keep existing. And another guarantee with Android is that the Android operating system, the Android programming system, the language is not going to go anywhere, right? I mean, Android as a programming language, as long as the Android phone is there, as long as millions of people, billions of people across the globe continue to use Android, there is no way that application development is going anywhere. There's no way that language is going anywhere. So if you learn Android, it's never going to be a waste of your time, because that is something that will never sort of cease to exist until there are mobile phones, right? Until people use mobile phones, until people continue to use mobile phones, that programming language, it's not going anywhere. It's still going to be popular and it's still going to have a lot of sort of job openings out there. Another specialty with Android is that it's extremely simple to learn. It's extremely easy to learn. So I say this about two programming languages primarily. One would be Android, the next would be Python. So I'll explain more about Python in the Python's training session, but these are the two programming languages that are relatively easier for people to learn. And even if it is someone who's not from too much of a mathematical or logical background, they still can learn Android and they can still design decent applications, pretty good applications on the Android programming language or on the Android OS. So these are the things that give Android benefits. There are some negatives to Android, as I mentioned in the Flutter class, is that it's not a programming language that is still continuing to be used in larger numbers. I mean, there are people, the growth rate is there, but it's not as accelerated as non-native languages. But still, there are a lot of people who continue to use native programming language, and so that is one negative of Android. But as I said, the positive is that as long as the Android operating system exists, as long as there are legacy applications on the Play Store that continue to use Android, and IT outsourcing companies will continue to recruit for Android development positions. So this is the primary thing about Android. Before I wind up, there's another interesting thing about Android is that it's kind of education agnostic. So a lot of the openings that we at Avodha see for Android, people don't really care a lot about what is your educational background. They care whether or not you know the Android programming language. This is kind of true for all kind of programming language courses, because there is such a huge shortage of talent talented talented software developers in India, that people tend to overlook the educational background and tend to focus more on whether or not you know that particular skill set. So that's it for Android, guys. In the next session, we're going to learn about Python and PHP, very interesting programming languages, which will take you outside of the mobile phone app development and will take you into PC development and web app development kind of things. Very interesting programming languages. I will see you guys in that class. Before I wind up, just one last thing. Same thing with Android as with all of our courses. We have a 3-month course online where you get rigorous training. You have live sessions in the evenings, Monday to Friday. Interview training happening Saturday and Sunday, just like all of our courses. And at last, you will have a paid or an unpaid internship. You will be offered a paid or an unpaid internship from our side for the Android programming language. Again, very interesting openings coming up for Android. Very interesting companies with very interesting products, which all of our students will really love. So that's it about Android, guys. I'll see you guys in the next session to cover PHP and Python.